So I'm just outside my mum's yard right now. Edmonton, home. Man was born and bred here, literally. Man was born in North Middlesex Hospital, which is in N18, Upper Edmonton. It's a man's stomping ground. I learned everything I know from this area, good and bad. Yeah, Edmonton will forever be my home. And slightly, I could even maybe say Tottenham is like my second home. Because man's always going through Tottenham. I get my haircut. I just got my haircut from Tottenham. Got lots of family there. Man, been in and out of Tottenham from young. Just going there all the time. Jumping on buses as a youth, man. Going to check family members in Tottenham. Got bare family in Tottenham. For the best part, solidly 5-6 years. Man was working in Tottenham on a daily basis. Had to go to my office in Broadwater Farm, which is in Tottenham, on a daily basis. Imagine that. And man had beef with a couple, you get me, on their estate and that, like little passes with man and that. Get me, I was up on the block technically. Imagine having to slip every day to go to work. But luckily it was like 8 in the morning and that, you know, man then don't wake up till 2, 3. So yeah, I could slightly say that Tottenham is my second home, but Edmonton will forever be my home. I don't business, man could be millionaire, man could become a lord, I don't care. Man will still be that real guy from Edmonton. Don't get it twisted though. Man's not going to be keeping up with no badness. Man's not going to be on the wrong side of the law. What I'm saying is, I'll never forget where I come from. That's how I think. That's how I'll forever think. But some people, a lot of people don't think like this. There's some people, once they get a little bit of money and they level up and that, they have amnesia and they forget where they come from. I met a black man one time on a job while I was working. And he's probably from, like most of us black people, grown up in the ends, grown up in the hood. Probably from around somewhere like Southeast London. And he's moved to a place called Blackheath. And he was trying to put this area on the same level as like Hampstead Heath, which is in northwest London. So Blackheath is in southeast London, on the borders of Greenwich and Lewisham. So boom. He's all bigging up this area, and I rate my man. He's got bare properties and that, like 10 properties. He built his own property and that. But the thing I didn't like about his attitude of that, and each to their own, innit? Yeah, you do what you want to do, innit? But his attitude was, cut the long story short, after he's bigging up the area and that, he's saying, yeah, best of all, no brothers, as in no black people. I just think to myself, well, first of all, I know my man, his kids are mixed race and that, innit? Yeah, no man who has black children and that will think and say anything dumb like that. I think to myself, like, brother, like, yeah, you've elevated and that, and you're doing well for yourself and that, but brother, don't forget where you come from, innit? That's the worst thing you can ever do, fam. Don't get it twisted. Don't be like these black people with this victim mentality who are stuck in the mud, stuck in slavery times and that, although they never lived through slavery times and that. Don't be like them, lot, but don't be on the other side. Don't become rich or elevate or level up and then become like some of these black people that forget where they come from. Don't make no sense, fam. You seen that, I don't know, it's like that famous viral clip. It went viral like 10 years ago, where the light-skinned black girl wanted to basically deny her mum, disown her mum, because her mum was dark-skinned and that. You see people like that, yeah? See, this is what happens with some black people, a lot of black people. When they come from, and most black people come from a working class background. What happens is, when we get educated, we start to hang around people who are making more money, obviously. So once we get our degrees and that, and we're in corporate, quote unquote, America or corporate England, we start to hang around with middle class people, people with money and that, and then we forget ourselves. You see that light skinned girl there, you know the clip I'm talking about. The one where she said, yeah, her mum's too dark. She don't want to be associated with her mum because her mum's dark skinned and that. She's forgetting herself, man. She's only acting like that because she's got a degree. She's only acting like that because she's earning a lot of money now. It's not even just black people that act like that as well, you know. Like, there's one guy that lives, well, his parents live on my road. And I was chatting to him and I said to him, "Rah, you know what, your parents have lived there a long time and I know you're not that old. How comes I've never seen you live at your parents' yard?" And he said to me, boom, that for when he was 16 years old, he was out on his own. And yeah, he got his own place and that, but now he's moved up to Newcastle and that. And he was saying, yeah, man, Edmonton's a shithole and that, and rare, woo. And I think to myself, This is the same man who in the same conversation previously told me that he works for Asda. How are you turning your nose up to Edmonton or London in general, to the hoods and that, when, okay, you're in Newcastle, it's probably a ran down part of Newcastle, and you're Asda worker? Don't make no sense, fam. I go to some people's yards in Northampton, and I'll say to them, oh, are you born and bred Northampton? Because a lot of people move around and that. So I'll say to a lot of the tenants and that, are you born and bred Northampton? And they'll say, yeah, I'm from this shithole. And blood, I'll look around and that, and I think to myself, how dare you call Northampton a shithole when your yard is dirty, blood? Like, I wouldn't come into your yard and take off my trainers, fam. Your yard is that dirty. Furthermore, you ask me for a cup of tea or a drink, and nah, fam. These people are insane, blood. Other people, I know people, they were living at rock bottom, struggling, driving a Daewoo Mattis. But luckily, they found someone, and now they got a nice Range Rover. Now they got their own property and that, which is just a flat and that. And then they have amnesia and that. They forget where they come from. So basically, man must have went to go visit someone that I know. And I was talking about cars with them. And I must have said to them, yeah, I don't mind driving a Nissan. I think it was a Nissan Juke and that. And she was like, what, a Nissan? I said, yeah. She's like, a Nissan? Like, dissing the car and that. I'm like, raw. How are you dissing a Nissan Juke when before you were struggling driving a Daewoo Mattis? If you don't know what a Daewoo Mattis is, it's for that Ras Clark reason. How are you dissing a Daewoo Mattis? How are you dissing a Nissan Juke when before you was driving a Daewoo Mattis? You was broke, you was struggling and that. See, this is the thing. People, they get amnesia and that. They forget where they come from just because now they've met someone. Now they can buy a property with them. Now they're driving a Range Rover or a Mercedes GLE and that, or Audi Q7. Certain people, they forget themselves. Me, I'll never forget myself, blood. Yeah, it's good to level up and that. Yeah, man, respect that. Yeah, everyone for level up in it. Yeah, but don't forget where you come from and that. Don't turn up your nose like, oh yeah, Tottenham's a shithole and that, blood. If it weren't for the person that you met now, you would still be living in Tottenham, blood. My girl used to work at one place in South London, and she must have told her manager, they were driving, I think in a car, the manager was driving, and she said, yeah, my boyfriend, talking about me, is from Edmonton. And she's like, oh, I know Edmonton. Like, yeah, saying that it's a familiar area to her, innit? So anyway, boom. One of the workers, my girlfriend was talking to one of the workers and that. She said the manager used to live in Edmonton. What's she talking about? I know Edmonton. See, some people, they try to pretend. See, this manager, well, you don't know, obviously, because you don't know the person here. This manager lives in a nice house, like an expensive house in an expensive area in southwest London. I think like Putney or one of them places there, innit? Or Tooting or somewhere, innit? You know, them places there where the house is worth $1 million. This person there has amnesia. Oh, I know Edmonton, innit? You're trying to pretend that they're not from the ends, innit? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being from the ends, you know. Embrace being from the hood, blood. I know a man that's moved out of Edmonton as well. A man's talking about, yeah, man, I hate Edmonton. I can't stand coming to Edmonton. And I'm like, what? Like, fam, they ain't nothing too. Edmonton's not that bad. But I know why. So, man, the reason why, let me tell you something. You see the man them that move out at the ends, and they hate the ends. Do you know why they hate the ends so much? Because they used to get bullied in the ends. Yeah. I know bear man. I know man that move out of Edmonton and I talk about, yeah, man, you hate Edmonton and that. Well, the reason why you hate Edmonton is because things happened to you in Edmonton and you didn't fight back. You ain't like that, fam. If you was one of the G's, one of the A team in the ends, bro, you would love your ends, blood. You would love your area. Obviously, I'm not saying that man for staying in Edmonton their whole life, innit? Yeah, man for move on. Because in my head, if you born and grow in an area and that, and you're there for 50 years, innit? That's not a good thing, innit? You should always be moving and stuff like that. You should always be progressing. You can't, 99.9% of people, they move area, innit? That's just a normal human thing to do. It's not good to stay. Imagine you're born and bred in Edmonton and you live there for like 50, 60 years of your life. Nah, man, you're supposed to move, innit? But that don't mean just because you move, you have to forget about where you come from and that. Man, I'll never forget where I come from. Man, I love coming down here, like I said. That don't mean I'm gonna raise my youths in the postcode at N9, but I want to be somewhere close to Edmonton. My mum lives here, and I love coming here, man. All certain times I will come out my yard. Even today, I just woke up. Just let me go for a little walk around the block. I got a little park on my estate. Just spun the block. Yeah, just in my sliders, just walked around quickly, innit? It's man stomping, guys. It's my area, innit? I'll never have amnesia. And there's idiots as well that try. There's idiots here that basically will move out of Edmonton, for example, and move to somewhere that the people then from Edmonton don't know about, really, innit? So you got someone like from Edmonton, they can move to somewhere like Harlow. Us Edmonton people, Edmontonians, we don't know about Harlow, innit? So you got some people from Edmonton that could move to somewhere like Harlow, which is a shithole, but us people from Edmonton don't know about Harlow, so we don't know that area. We're never gonna go to that area to verify that it's a shithole. The people then from Harlow will tell you it's a shithole, innit? And they're the same people with dirty houses as well, innit? Anyway, Harlow's a shithole, innit? But what happens is the people from Edmonton, they might get a little bit of money and buy a property over there, which is cheaper. And when they come back to the ends, and when they talk to people them that are from the ends and that, they'll say, oh yeah, where I've moved to is lovely. All my neighbours, they're cool. There's no stabbings, there's no shootings. Everyone on my road drives a nice car, whatever it is. Try to spruce it up, try to sprinkle glitter on it. Where really and truly, they're just living in another working class area outside of London. Check back here, 50, 20 years time, that area will be another ends, blood. That will be another Edmonton and that. So people can't fool me, you know. Me, I could do that easily. I could lie to the people them down here. I could say, oh yeah, man's bought this property up in Northampton and this flat around the corner, and I'm in the process of buying another flat. Northampton is lovely. Yeah, all my neighbours, they're all cool and that. There's no stabbings, no shootings. I don't hear police sirens all the time. But if you come to my area, you won't see how rough it is. My area that I live, where I live, is rougher than Edmonton. Yeah, it's rougher than some of the parts of Edmonton. Yeah, the houses look fucked. The houses look fucked. But me, I don't care. I don't business about how the exterior of the house looks. Because inside my house, you can eat your food off of my fucking kitchen floor. Literally. But yeah, man, people there, man, never forget where you come from, innit? Yeah. It's what put you in the position that you are in today. Yeah, it's what you learn. Yeah, you learn from your environment and that. Stay away, done now.